Welcome to another edition of the Business and Personal Podcast, where we bring you closer to those that you do business with. And today we're actually going to talk about a really cool charity in the Detroit area that I want you to learn more about. We're joined by David Silver, the founder and executive director of Detroit Horsepower. David, thanks a lot for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. I love your story about how this all came together, and rather than me telling it, I'm just gonna kind of lead in it and let you tell people how you took all your life experiences and merged it into this great charity.
Yeah. So Detroit Horsepower teaches kids who live in the city of Detroit valuable life lessons through riding and taking care of horses, which, like you said, is really a combination of my life's journey, having grown up. I'm actually from the East Coast, grew up in suburban New York, and competitive horseback riding was a huge part of my life growing up. My mom grew up with horses and passed that love on to me and my younger sister. And so it's something we did very intensely and passionately growing up, but took a step back from horses during college and was really committed to using the advantages I've been given to open doors for young people growing up without the privileges I had received. And that led me to become an elementary school teacher and ultimately brought me to Detroit. But I was not riding at that point. And immersing myself in my craft and developing my skills as an educator, was really influenced by the research on social emotional learning and the character skills that research shows influence success in school and in life. And so as I was having conversations with my students about confidence and perseverance and empathy and other traits, it prompted me to reflect back on the opportunities I had to develop those skills. And consistently, it was my experiences with horses that I was sharing with my students, which felt a little uncomfortable at times, because traditionally kids growing up in Detroit don't have access to the amazing power that horses can offer all of us. So in 2014, I decided to leave the classroom, and by 2015, I incorporated Detroit Horsepower as a 501c3 nonprofit to expand opportunities for young people growing up in Detroit through the incredible power that horses can offer all of us.
You've been doing this since 2015, and I'm sure there's some good success stories, and we'll get into that later. But what I want to touch on, I think you have a really good acronym that kind of summarizes everything you do for the kids. And it's PERKS, which is perseverance, empathy, responsible risk taking, confidence, self control. That's a lot in 5 letters, but kind of touch on how that acronym came together and how it does work for the kids.
Yeah, it's definitely evolved over time into something that we feel is currently the core of what Detroit Horsepower does. So early on, as building up this idea and a curriculum for Detroit Horsepower, we started with a wide array of what the research shows about social emotional development, and there's also a lot of research around equine assisted learning and how horses can promote personal growth. And so we eventually honed in on these 5 traits, like you said: perseverance, empathy, responsible risk taking, confidence, and self control, because they're connected to the research and they're uniquely influenced through our experiences with horses. So you think about riding and how much sense of self and self-belief that comes with controlling a 1,000-pound animal, the perseverance to not give up when things get hard and to continue trying even when you don't get it the first time, thinking about taking responsible risks. So not being afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, but not to be so bold that you put yourself or others in unsafe situations. And it doesn't have to just be about riding, just the interaction with horses. A lot of what we do is on the ground. So you think about empathy, connecting with another living being and understanding the world from their perspective. And self-control is really about pausing and reflecting before acting. Horses are incredibly sensitive to their surroundings. They're constantly evaluating whoever is approaching them as a potential threat or as somebody who could be a part of their herd. And so being in tune with your own emotional state, your own body language and the energy that you're sending out takes a lot of self-control to regulate that and put your best self forward in a way that can connect with these amazing animals.
It is really so cool how animals can teach us life lessons, in so many different ways. And we'll touch on a little bit in your future plans of what you have for Detroit Horsepower. But just for right now, let people know what exactly it is that you do. You have barns in the area that you travel and take the kids to interact with the horses. First of all, talk about that and your summer programs and where you take some of the kids to right now. So the things you're doing right now.
Yeah, so since 2015, we've been able to grow the impact of horses in students' lives through really generous partnerships with existing horse barns that donate the use of their space and their horses for Detroit Horsepower to implement the curriculum that we've developed. It's a free summer horse camp, a 5-day long experience as a day camp, where we have Detroit-based community partners that recruit students for each of our week-long programs. And then if students are interested in continuing, then we have a year-round after-school program that goes in much greater depth, going beyond, at summer camp, we're teaching how to ride and take care of horses. We bring in guest speakers to talk about different equine professions. But we're very intentional about a lot of time set aside for self-reflection in connecting our experiences with horses to the perks character traits. And when we have our year-round after-school program, which is now up to 30 advancing participants, it's much more, obviously we're continuing to grow our riding skills and new horse management topics, but much more intentional and greater depth around connecting those horse experiences to our everyday lives. And how can we harness the confidence of being in the saddle into being a confident public speaker, or the empathy of understanding the world from a horse's perspective to connecting with people in the world around us. And we are limited by the amount of time and that we have at our partner barns and the transportation challenges of getting out to Ortonville or South Lyon or Saline. So we'll travel for horses. We've gone to East Lansing plenty of times. We've been to Mackinac Island through generous partnerships. So we're so grateful to the outstanding horse lovers that have opened their doors for Detroit Horsepower to grow our programming. But like you alluded to, we've got some exciting long-term plans to put down roots in the city and make this much more accessible for Detroit's future.
So for anybody that's listening that maybe wants to get involved and help out, I know you have sponsorship opportunities that people can actually sponsor the child as they go through the program. Is that a good way for people to start in terms of a sponsorship, would you say?
It'd be an outstanding contribution to cover the cost for a student's participation at summer horse camp. We have been limited in 2020. We were only able to offer in-person summer horse camps to the advancing students in our year-round program. For 2021, we do look forward to, fingers crossed, the public health conditions will allow us to go back to having 100 plus beginning students introduced to horses and the character traits they can teach us. For summer 2021, we've done our best with a lot of Zoom sessions that simulate our classroom time. We're looking forward to getting back to our partner horse barns as much as we can through the cold winter months, depending on COVID, obviously. But looking ahead, summer 2021, we're really looking to ramp back up, and $500 covers the cost of a week-long summer horse camp experience, and sponsoring a student is a phenomenal contribution to youth development impact.
So that's where we're at right now. You have these partner horse barns in the area that you send the kids out to, but you have some really awesome things that you're working on, and with a goal of 2023 to utilize some vacant land that you have access to. Tell some people more about those plans.
Yeah, so the goal has always been that horses can shape us as people, and they can also shape the fabric of the communities that our students grow up in, and finding the right fit of available open space that where horses could be a part of Detroit's future and turn vacant land into a community asset by building a new urban equestrian center has been the goal since we got started. And through years of site selection and community conversations, we did focus on the former Paul Robeson school site, a 14-acre demolished school site on the west side near Focus Hope. Unfortunately, the building had a massive fire in 2011 and had to be demolished in 2012. And when we approached Detroit Public Schools Community District back in 2017, there weren't plans for the location and connecting around our shared goals for social emotional learning, youth opportunity, and really enhancing the educational experience available to Detroit students was a really great match. It took a couple years for that partnership to get formalized. The Detroit School Board approved our long-term lease of the site in October of 2019. And since then, we've been working steadily on the planning process, completing a conceptual design, engaging a multidisciplinary steering committee of horse experts, city officials, and residents from around the site to advise on how best to integrate horses into an urban context. We've been laying the groundwork for a significant capital campaign that will allow us to break ground in 2022 with the goal of a grand opening, like you said, by 2023.
So many great things have emerged as Detroit kind of gets rebuilt, and this definitely sounds like it would be an awesome piece as well. I would imagine funding is a need for this, so that's another great thing for people that they could donate towards.
Absolutely, we would love to have conversations with, our key partners have been individuals, foundations, and corporate sponsors. So building off outstanding commitments that have helped our program grow through the years, and encouraging, folks that aren't as familiar with Detroit Horsepower would love to have a conversation about these long-term goals, and what role individuals and businesses might be interested in playing in expanding the opportunities available to the next generation of Detroiters and to strengthen the future for our neighborhoods, which need creative new purposes for vacant land to have healthy, vibrant futures.
I mean, I've seen the pictures on your website. I've seen the smiles that the kids have and the excitement that they have for this opportunity just to get off the streets and get out and enjoy these things. Share first the people out there that are interested in what you're doing and maybe are interested in donating. Just share for them the impact that you have firsthand have seen this has had on kids in the Detroit area.
Yeah, it makes me think of students that I taught at Burns when I was an elementary school teacher on the West Side, who were some of the earliest participants in Detroit Horsepower's program, and seeing them as dedicated and talented young people as fourth and fifth graders, but might have been really shy and struggled to talk in front of people, and certainly not large groups. And seeing those same young people today having really flourished through our program, thriving academically and really coming into their own with a sense of poise and confidence that I know horses contributed to in my development, and seeing that the possibilities that are unlocked for young people in Detroit and how far it can take them, whether it's college scholarships that our students have been awarded, the expanded horizons and connections that have come, job opportunities to start getting involved in the horse industry. Those are so exciting to think about, where horses can take all of us. But even if it's, more about how they shape us as people, that's really the core for us, is developing those 5 character traits. And with those tools, there's no telling how far our students will go.
And I don't know who wouldn't want to get behind a project like this. It's just every time I hear you talk about it, it's just so cool, man. You combine a teacher with a horse riding enthusiast, and you get this just cool organization that's doing so many good things and far from where your peak of the things that you can accomplish. So what's the easiest way for people to get in touch with Detroit Horsepower and to donate to your cause?
Well, anybody interested, I'd love for them to go to DetroitHorsepower.org. Our website has all the information they might need to get in touch with me. My phone number and email are right there on the contact page, and there's a donate button, right there to make that investment in the opportunities available to Detroit's youth through the power of horses. You can also check out, Facebook and Instagram, sign up for our monthly email newsletter. And we'd love to keep folks updated on our progress as, we move forward on this exciting journey.
Great stuff, man. Maybe we'll have you on again later down the road to keep updated on the progress of this, but we're excited just to continue to see your growth. Great work, and thanks for joining me today.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan.
All right, take care.